and welcome to Cutting Words. I'm Brad Thompson, and today we got Unearthed Arcana Playtest 7 for the Player's Handbook 2024. We're going to look at the Sorcerer today. Previous videos we covered the Barbarian Fighter as well as the Weapon Masteries, the spells and rules updates. You can check those videos out on my channel. Today we've got the Sorcerer, and then obviously after this we've got remaining the Warlock and the Wizard. They'll complete the whole player's packet. Very exciting. Alright, let's get the Sorcerer up and let's take a look. Now, as always, this playtest material is not final. It is playtest material. You can give feedback to Wizards from September 21st on the dndbeyond.com, and you can give them their feedback, what you think of the playtest material, and they'll make adjustments and make changes from there, and we'll see more iterations going forward. I think there's 2 more iteration playtests coming for the Player's Handbook before they lock it down, so it'll be interesting to see where we end up. As well as you can get a PDF of this whole PDF that we're looking at here is available on dndbeyond.com. It's like a 50-page document covering everything we're covering in these videos. So if you like, you can get that yourself and follow along as well. Alright, now Sorcerer, one of my favorite classes. Let's see what they've done to my poor boy. Previous place material was a bit of a weird place where he lost Twin Spell, the very powerful Metamagic option. One of the main reasons to go Sorcerer, I believe, because it's so good. As well as gain some very powerful late game broken wish powers. So let's see what they've done to Sorcerer now. Alright, so the Sorcerer is still Charisma caster. Thank goodness. Not touch that. Despite the game being quite heavy in Charisma casters, Sorcerer is still Charisma. Alright, design notes, handy design notes for Sorcerer. We'll look at this first and then we'll go to the table. Alright, but innate sorcery. How's your spell attack rolls and your save DCs for limited time? So new feature there. We've got spellcasting returns to using the Sorcerer spell list rather than the Arcane spell list. The Arcane, Divine, and Primal spell lists are dead. They're gone. Dead and buried. Gone back to 2014, where each class has its own individual spell list. Sorcerers now includes Sorcerer's Burst and Arcane Eruption. 2 new spells there. There were versions of them in the previous playtest. I covered the latest versions in my video. I covered the new spells. We can find on my channel. Alright. So both of which appear in this document. Yeah. Alright. And we've got Font of Magic. No longer requires a bonus action to convert spell slots into sorcery points. Metamagic gives you 2 options at level 2 and 2 more options at level 10 and 17 each. And you can now change one of your options whenever you gain a sorcerer level. So basically they've added flexibility so you can change Metamagic options more regularly. So it's every level you can change one, as well as Metamagic comes online from level 2. Before you got Metamagic at level 3. You only got Font of Knowledge, or Font of Magic, so to say, at level 2 before. Sorcerer subclass returns to 2014 level regression for Sorcerer subclasses, with the exception of level 1 feature being at level 3. All subclasses now kicking at level 3 for all classes there. So you can't have more of a generic, non-flavored Sorcerer until level 3 we get your subclass flavoring of where your magic's actually coming from. Sorcerer's Vitality is gone. There's I think it was a class feature / spell. It was like a spell feature that they got in the previous playtest. It was like healing, I think. It's gone now. Don't worry about it. Sorcerer's Restoration has moved from level 15 all the way down to level 5. If you have no sorcery points when you roll initiative, this feature restores it to a number. So that high level feature to get sorcery points is now way earlier, which should help get through this, because early levels of Sorcerer getting sorcery points a bit rough. They didn't last long enough. Alright, Sorcery Incarnate has moved from level 9 to 7. It's been redesigned to enhance innate sorcery. Arcane Apotheosis has moved to level 20, and has been redesigned to enhance innate sorcery. Alright. Let's go back up to the table. Alright, so I've got the table here. Let's see. Prepared spells is higher than the 2014 version. It was 15 was the max number of spells that Sorcerer could have, which was always pretty rough. But now you can have the 22 prepared spells. So it's gone up a whopping 7 there. I think that was up that way in last playtest as well. It's good to see it's remaining quite high, because for Sorcerer it was always a bit of a struggle. Never having enough spell prepares. So it's nice alleviating that. burden, that pain point for Sorcerer. Let's see, sorcery point progression still the same. Cantrips looks like the same. So we've just got different subclass features to look at here. This table all looks pretty straightforward to how we're used to, beyond having more spells. Yay! All right, let's get down to these class features then. Okay, so we've still got 1d6 hit point or hit die. Constitution and Charisma saving throw proficiencies. Got choose 2 skills of Arcana, Deception, Insight, Intimidation, Persuasion, and Religion. Simple weapons, no tools, and no armor. Alright. Level 1. New feature. So level 1 out of the gate, you get Innate Sorcery. So an event in your past left an indelible mark on you, infusing you with a simmering magic. As a bonus action, you can unleash that magic for 1 minute, during which you gain the following benefits. The spell save DC of your sorcerer spells increases by 1. You have advantage on the attack rolls of sorcerer spells you cast. You can use this feature twice. You regain all expended uses of it when you finish a long rest. So, basically, innate sorcery. This is it's like a rage, like a sorcerer version of rage, the Barbarian's rage feature, where basically you go bonus action, unleash this awesome magical might within you, and for the next minute, your spell save DC increases by 1, which is really good, especially at low level. That's like straight out the gate level 1. That's quite good. Because yeah, it's all about my reason to increase your charisma score all the time for sorcerers. You know, our ability score is to increase your spell save DC, and this just does an extra 1 for you straight away out of the gate, which is really good. It means enemies are likely to fail. Your spells going to land and work. Awesome. In addition to that, also all your spell attacks have advantage, so it means you're more likely to hit, especially those damage cantrips at low level, and with those high level spells as you cast. Yeah, this means your spells just work better. Oh, amazing. So you use it twice and a long rest, which you're gonna, yeah, I mean, eventually day, I guess 2 is probably enough. 2 major counters you want to burn it on. Hopefully there's more ways of getting that as you go up high level. I think there was, but we'll have a look when we get on the list here. Yeah, it's really good. I like it. Don't like the name though. Innate Sorcery. I like to activate Innate Sorcery. As opposed to like to rage. You know, I feel like it needs a better name. Innate Sorcery sounds lame. I activate Innate Sorcery. Bit lackluster name. It needs like, you know, I like to tap into my well of power, or I like to, yeah, you know, activate my conduit of the plains. I don't know, like some kind of, you know, activate my sorcerer's might. My new workshop the name. I'm not gonna come up with a name here on the fly, but yeah, need to come up with a better name, sounding name when you activate this ability, because innate sorcery is a bit meh. But otherwise, very cool. Very, very cool. And sorcerer spell specifically, so, because otherwise, amazing multi-class, because full casters do anything hook by crook to increase that spell save DC. So yeah, so it's just for your sorcerer spells, not all spells. All right. Also, level 1, you get spellcasting. Which is pretty much exactly what you expect. You get your cantrips, you get your spells, you can swap out a spell. Swap out your cantrips, which levels 4 and 10. Sorry, level 14 you get extra cantrips. You can swap out your spells whenever you get a level. Yeah. It's classic sorcerer. Classic sorcerer, we spell progression there. Though ritual casting is not really an ability anymore, so your spell's got a ritual tag on it, you can just ritual cast, so hey, sorcerers can ritual now. Woohoo! So you can pick up detect magic and identify, go for your life. Before sorcerers will not touch some of the 10-foot pole, but now, hey, why not? You can ritual cast too. So yeah, nothing new there for spellcasting really. Beyond, you can prepare more spells now. Woohoo! Alright, Font of Magic, level 2. So you can tap into your wellspring of magic within yourself. This wellspring is represented by sorcery points, which allow you to create a variety of magical effects. You start off with 2 sorcery points, and you gain more as you reach high levels, as shown in the sorcery points column of the sorcery table. Basically, you get number of sorcery points equal to your level. You can never have more sorcery points than the number shown on the table for your level. You regain all spent sorcery points when you finish a long rest. You can use your sorcery points to fuel the options below, along with other features such as Metamagic that use those points. Converting spell slots to sorcery points. You can expend a spell slot to gain a number of sorcery points equal to the slot's level, no action required. So before was a bonus action to do that little shuffle around. Now it's just free, just whenever. Like, I like to just cash in these spell slots and sorcery points, which is awesome, because especially with quick and spell, you try to do a lot of things on your turn. You have to go, oh, how points I need to spend my bonus action now, shuffle things around. Won't I use a bonus action till next turn? Now you can just do it, and don't have to worry about kind of keeping track of that upkeep. You just do adjust things on the fly as required, which is nice little housekeeping there. Creating spell slots, however, is a bonus action to make spell slots. Don't know why really. Not said the whole both be free, but whatever. You can transform unexpended spell sorcery points into 1 spell slot. The spell slots table shows the cost of creating a spell slot given the level and lists the minimum sorcery level. You must be to create the slot, so you can't like create slots higher than you can cast. You can create a spell slot no higher in level than 5. Each spell slot you create with this feature vanishes when you finish a long rest. And here's the table here. Nothing changed. There's still 2 sorcery points for level 1 spell slot, 3 sorcery points for level 2, then jumps up to 5 sorcery points for level 3, then 6 level 4, then jumps up to 7 for a 5th level spell slot. I wish this table was on the D&D Beyond character sheets, or like somewhere convenient. I find I've always had to look up this table all the time when playing sorcerers, because I can never really remember how many sorcery points, because it's not consistent. You know, here, which spell slot. So very annoying, but it's fine. It's a little niggle there, but yeah, I do love playing sorcerers. I played quite a few sorcerers, probably more than I should have. Keep defaulting back to sorcerer. So I played effectively 2 sorcerers now, all the way up to level 20 or close enough to tier 4 play, all the way through 2 whole long campaigns. A wild sorcerer and a clockwork soul sorcerer. So yeah, love sorcerers. All right, moving on down. Level 2 Metamagic. Because your magic flows from within you, you can alter your spells to suit your needs. You gain 2 metamagic options of your choice from the metamagic options section later in this class's description. You gain 2 more when you become a level 10 sorcerer, and 2 more when you become a level 17 sorcerer. Oh, so you get two out of the gate at level 2, and then yeah, the wait. Oh, the long slog to level 10 to get 2 more metamagic options. Oh my goodness. Then I have a long slog to get level 17, get 2 more. Such a long wait. Why? I wish they got there's a little waypoint somewhere between 2 and 10. Just like, come on. Anyway, you can use only 1 metamagic option on a spell when you cast it, unless otherwise noted in one of those options. When you gain sorcery level, replace one of your metamagic options with one you don't know. So I was really thankful for the metamagic feat that came out in, I want to say, Tasha's. We got more metamagic options there. It was just like, oh, thank goodness, I can actually get some more metamagic options, because, oh my goodness, wait so long to get more options otherwise. Anyway, level 3 Sorcerer subclass. So for the subclasses on the menu today, we have Aberrant Sorcery. They've gone through short names here, so rather than Aberrant Mind, it's just Aberrant Sorcery. Rather than Clockwork Soul, it's just Clockwork Sorcery. Sure. So yeah, so Aberrant Sorcery, Clockwork Sorcery, imported over from, I'll say, Tasha's. Draconic Sorcery and Wild Magic Sorcery is, I'm surprised they put magic in there, just Wild Sorcery, but sure. From the Player's Handbook have returned. So yeah, they're doing this thing where basically all classes get 4 subclasses in the new Player's Handbook. So some classes lost subclasses, and some classes gained subclasses to even out. Be fair, which makes sense, I guess. It's always been a bit weird that some classes have more subclasses than others. Anyway, subclasses will be at the end, so we'll look at those after the look at the main class. What they got there. Alright, level 4, you get your ability score improvement or your feat. Level 5, you get Sorcerer's Restoration. When you roll initiative or finish a short rest and have no sorcery points remaining, you regain a number of those points equal to your sorcerer level divided by 5 rounded down. So at level 5 you get 1 whole sorcery point. Yeah. And then so we've got 1 in the tank. And then as you go up from level 10 you get 2 sorcery points. And eventually capping out at 4. Sure, that was a cute way of just having a few around, just so you can always do something. Because most Metamagic options are like 1 or 2 sorcery points, so it's nice to have. Level 7, Sorcery Incarnate. So level 6 was a subclass feature there. Level 7, Sorcery Incarnate. While your innate sorcery feature is active, you can use up to 2 of your Metamagic options on each spell you cast. So we activate innate sorcery. You can now, spend Metamagic and sorcery points. You have 2 Metamagic options running on the same spell at once. In addition, if you have no uses of innate sorcery left, you can use it if you spend 2 sorcery points. We take the bonus action to activate it. What a bargain! Definitely do that and just have innate sorcery, or please, hopefully, have a cooler name. 2 sorcery points, bargain, do it. Have that running all the time. It's a shame that it will be your bonus action every combat. It's like the same problem as a Barbarian has, right? But it's like, what's my first bonus action in the first turn of combat? It's going to be Rage. It's just be the same story for Sorcerer. Alas, poor Sorcerer. At least they do technically have other bonus action options they want, but it's going to be innate sorcery, isn't it? First round combat. I guess I activate innate sorcery. At least it's not a spell or anything like that, or concentration. So it's just a class feature, so they can activate that and still cast a spell or whatever. So yeah, just that's your bonus action text now, Sorcerer. Study each combat. Alright, now we jump all the way to level 20. So let's quickly check out the table, see what's going on there between level 7 and 20, since it doesn't list any more class features anymore. What a jump. So apparently they don't like listing every class feature now. Alright, so level 8 was ability score improvement or feat. Level 9 was nothing, but you get your next level spell casting there. Level 5 spells. Level 10 you get 2 more Metamagic options there, finally. Level 11, next level spell casting. Level 12, your ability score improvement or feat. Level 13, more spell casting. 14, subclass feature. 15, spellcasting, ability score improvement or feat. Level 17, Metamagic option, and level 9 spells. Woohoo! Level 18, subclass feature. 19, ability score improvement or feat. And finally 20, Arcane Apotheosis, which will now get up. That level 20 feature. Right, while your innate sorcery feature is active, you can use 1 Metamagic option on each of your turns without spending sorcery points on it. Woohoo! So just we're saving some sorcery points there. Just getting a freebie every round in combat. Cool. And it's your level 20 capstone. Cute, efficient. Alright. Speaking of, let's look at these Metamagic options, see where we landed on some of them, and what the new version of Twin Spell is. Alright, so handy dandy design notes for Metamagic. This spell returns to doubling range. Before, I think they last playtest made it so it was like fixed to like increase it by 100 feet or something, I think it was. Anyway, just back to straight, just doubling it. Don't worry about it. Seeking spell now costs 1 point rather than 2. Thank goodness. 2 was a bit pricey for what it did. 1 seems way more reasonable. Subtle spell now clarifies that it doesn't remove material components that have a cost specified in the affected spell. Yeah, subtle spell does not make the spell free. If it has a costly spell component, you still need to pay for that. Twin spell has some of its previous multi-targeting functionality, but now within appropriate limits. Alright. Or twin spell. We'll see what state it is in now. I feel like, just don't call it twin spell. Just say twin spell's dead. You cut it. you monsters. So I limit my sorcerer's power. And just call it something new. Like, it's a new Metamagic option, just change its name, different thing, completely different thing anyway. It's not the same. Don't keep the name. How dare they? Alright. I love sorcerers. Poor sorcerers. Anyway. Careful spell. Cost 1 sorcery point. When you cast a spell that forces other creatures to make a saving throw, you can protect some of those creatures from the spell's full force. To do so, you can spend 1 sorcery point and choose a number of those creatures up to your charisma modifier. Minimum of 1 creature. A chosen creature automatically succeeds on its saving throw against a spell, and it takes no damage if it would normally take half damage on a successful save. Woohoo! So you get your Evocationist Wizard, but for 1 Metamagic option and 1 sorcery point. Or you just aim better and don't target your friends. What are you doing? Sometimes, your front line just charges in there, gets all messed up in there. Like, oh, I just want to fireball them all. How annoying. But now you can. So yeah, it's the right option. It's alright. Definitely improvement to what it currently is in 2014. Before it was, I think it's succeed, but it still took half damage or something. Now it gives you basically evasion as well. Woohoo! Alright, distant spell. Costs 1 sorcery point. When you cast a spell that has a range of at least 5 feet, you can spend 1 sorcery point to double the spell's range. When you cast a spell that has a range of touch, you can spend 1 sorcery point to make that range of the spell 30 feet. Yeah, solid little one. Metamagic option there. I've had quite fun with this one. Doubling the range of my counter spell to counterspell a baddie across the room who doesn't think I'm in range. Yeah, always good fun. That one there. Yeah. Nifty little spell. Or Metamagic, should I say. Empowered spell. Cost 1 sorcery point. When you roll damage for a spell, you can spend 1 sorcery point to reroll a number of damage die up to your charisma modifier, minimum of 1. You must use new rolls. You can use empowered spell, even if you have already used a different Metamagic option during the casting of the spell. Yeah, I never used empowered spell. Never picked it. Just roll good in the first place. Easy solution. Anyway, extended spell costs 1 sorcery point. When you cast a spell that has a duration of 1 minute or longer, you can spend 1 sorcery point to double its duration to a maximum duration of 24 hours. The defeated spell requires concentration. You have advantage on any saving throw you have to maintain the concentration. Extended spell, it's I play around a little bit. I don't normally pick this one. I normally have room for it. It's always one of those ones that I kind of would like to pick, but I never quite have room for, because there's never enough Metamagic options. I find it quite good on the spells like Aid, like when I was playing Clockwork Soul Sorcerer. You got double the range of that, so you can load up the party with high level Aid spells, and then with extend spell, long rest, get your spell slots back, and the spell's still running after your long rest because the duration's been doubled to last longer. So that's always nifty. Very a good spell for being very economically minded. Get through longer metering days and things like that, if your campaign is that way inclined. Yeah, and the extra benefit now of the advantage on concentration checks, always nice. Until you get Warcaster, then whatever. Until then, it's pretty good. Heightened spell costs 2 sorcery points now. Woohoo! Down from 3 sorcery points. What a bargain. Because yeah, 3 was always like, I don't think I ever actually took heightened spell because it's always 3 was always a bit on the pricey side. Because yeah, I always went, I want to spend 3 sorcery points, especially at low level. Like when you're low level sorcerer, like, man, I really afford this. It's quite pricey. And then at high level, it's like, anyway. So what happens with heightened spell is when you cast a spell that forces a creature to make a saving throw to resist its effects, you can spend 2 sorcery points to give one target of the spell disadvantage on its saving throws against the spell. So yeah, high level when you want to put on a spell, like, just means what? The Bay is going to more likely to use Legendary Resist to pass. There's a lot of bad guys you want to land this type of save or suck spells on with Legendary Resist, which is disappointing. But this one now, so it's cheaper, so more likely like, you know what? Why not? 2 is a bit more reasonable for chucking it on. as well as a disadvantage on its saving throws. So before it was just the first saving throw. Now it's all of them. So spells like Hold Personal or something like that that have a save every round to get out of it. I can see it definitely be worth doing that now. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I can definitely see, yeah, like a Sorcerer debuff build, like trying to focus fire, disable suck effects on enemy, being quite a valid strategy here, at least until you ran into legendary resist creatures, then if you have a fallback plan there. Yeah, pretty good. Definitely a big improvement there. Quicken Spell. Costs 2 sorcery points. I believe this one's completely unchanged. When you cast a spell that has a casting time of an action, you can spend 2 sorcery points to change the casting time to a bonus action for this casting. You can modify the spell in this way if you already cast a spell of level 1 or higher on the current turn, nor can you cast a spell of level 1 or higher on this turn after modifying a spell in this way. There's some clarifying text there to remind you, basically, you can never cast more than 1 spell a turn. Basically, the rules are if you bonus action cast a spell, you can't cast anything higher than a cantrip with your action. And if you use your action to cast a spell, you can't bonus action cast anything higher than a cantrip. Anyway, this is clarifying the spellcasting rule there in the actual Metamagic option to avoid confusion. I think there were people who were confused thinking you could quicken spell and cast 2 spells on 1 turn, which no, definitely not. Too good. But quicken spell's still really good. It's normally my go-to one for Sorcerer from like my level 10 pick. One of those ones, because normally 2 sorcery points for just a bonus action spell cast. It's normally a bit pricey at low level. I don't know where sorcery points floating around to do that too often to make it worth it, but by mid-tier, I'm ready for that quicken spell goodness, and I use it quite a lot to allow me to dash, extra movement, or dodge. I do a lot of dodge. I think dodge is a really underutilized action. I think it's really good. So you go, you know what? All enemies have disadvantage to attack me all around. Perfect. So I can just, you know, dodge and still quicken spell, whatever spell out my turn. That's real solid. Yeah. Or extra movement if you need it. Get closer for a spell, whatever. Or you can cast cantrip as well. I find if you're like swimming in sorcery points, I'm like, sure, I'll, you know, cast a cantrip, especially if Mind Sliver. I'll do the penalty to a saving throw, then we can spell out a spell, maybe a comment of heighten, so you could do we can spell out call it the Mind Sliver. Hopefully they fail, get a -d4 on their saving throw, then heighten spell, a Hold Person or whatever. Boom, they got -d4 and disadvantage. More likely to fail. So yeah, so a very, very good one there. Good spell. Anyway, Seeking Spell costs 1 sorcery point, down from 2, way more cost effective there. If you make an attack roll with a spell and miss, you can spend 1 sorcery point to reroll the d20, and you must use the new roll. You use Seeking Spell even if you have already used a different Metamagic option during the casting of the spell. Though with innate sorcery now, you're already taking with advantage most likely, because most attack roll spells are cantrips. There's very few that you'd be casting that not cantrips. And so you already taking with advantage, so this is a whole 3rd roll. You take with advantage and still miss. You're like, oh, okay, have a 3rd roll in there, let's go. It's quite funny. It seems like overkill. Just get that 1 cantrip to land, that cantrip damage, come on. All about the cantrip damage apparently. So even though it's more cost effective, I'm probably not going to take it. Now I've got innate sorcery, but hey, it's an option though. Like before, 2 sorcery points was a bit much, but 1 is definitely a valid option. All right, Subtle Spell, one of my faves. Probably is my fave now that Twin Spell has been nerfed to Oblivion. Subtle Spell costs 1 sorcery point. When you cast a spell, you can spend 1 sorcery point to cast it without any verbal, somatic, or material components, except material components that are consumed by the spell or that have cost specified in the spell. So Subtle Spell basically does a few things. Subtle Spell is very subtle, I guess you could say, with its utility here. So the first thing that the most important thing it does is allows you to cast a spell without people seeing you cast it. So that gets around counter spell. So your enemy can't counter spell you because they can't see you casting the spell, which is great for winning the counter spell war. Be it you're casting a spell, you don't want it counter spelled, or you're counter spelling someone else's spell, you don't want them to counter your counter spell. No, they can't do anything about it. Just boom, subtle spell, done, sorted. Use that all the time, real good. Another use for it with that is casting a spell in front of people without them noticing you casting a spell, like detect thoughts. Makes that very, very good spell, because before, without subtle spell, it's really obvious that you cast and detect thoughts, and people go, what are you doing? Why are you casting a spell in front of us? Because the range and the time duration of it is quite short, so it's real obvious how you're casting detect thoughts in front of people. So this gets you around that, as well as illusion spells as well. Like they can go, look, it just happens. This thing just appeared. It's not silent image at all. You can hide that spell casting for shenanigans, which works really good. The other thing is with the subtle spell, because you can cast without the semantic and material components there. If you're Dove Warcaster, but say you got proficiency in holding a shield and things, you can actually, if your hands are full, you can still cast, as long as you be that sorcery point, and get around those limitations there. Because normally you need a hand free to cast your spells. If you've got Warcaster, this can help you get around that as well. So it's gonna be quite nifty too. So yeah, subtle spell, really good. I really rate it. It was also a very efficient way of triggering those Sorcerer Stone shards. So I had a lot of fun time in one campaign where I was playing through Sorcerer, high level, collecting the many of those different Tasha's Sorcerer Shard items that trigger every time you use Metamagic, and they trigger effect. And I was trying to stack a bunch of those. I got collecting 3 of them. So 3 triggers happen every time I spend a sorcery point. So I would just sell a spell, shield spell, counter spell, whatever. Just whatever I need to do to trigger these, spend a sorcery point as reaction on my in combat to trigger off all these shards firing off at once. Outside my turn and on my turn, just all the time. It's got a bit ridiculous. But it was something I just had to do. It was like bucket list, go tick that off. Have a sorcerer with 3 of these sorcerer shards triggering every time I spend sorcery points all the time. Very silly, very silly. Long turns, don't recommend doing it all the time. Your table might get annoyed at you, but it was a lot of fun. I had the air stone, the water stone. Oh, was another stone in there? Yeah, it was definitely the air stone and the water stone doing a lot of work there. Basically, reaction spend a sorcery point, cast shield or counter spell, whatever, or on my turn casting whatever spell, and then immediately flying like 60 feet without proximity attacks and AoE water damage, cold damage splash, strength save, push people away from you and prone. Just doing that constantly. Very silly. Anyway, transmuted spell costs 1 sorcery point. When you cast a spell that deals a type of damage from the following list, you can spend 1 sorcery point to change the damage type to one of the other types listed: acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder. I've never felt the need of like, oh man, I really wish I could change the damage type of the spell. It hasn't come up because I feel like there's not enough enemies out there that are like vulnerable to things. I feel like, I'm sure more enemies are vulnerable to different damage types. This would be very cool to be able to shuffle things around to figure out enemies' vulnerability. And generally speaking, it's like, we're fighting a fire guy. I guess I won't cast Fireball. I'll use a different spell. Rather than, if you had this, you could change it to be an acid ball rather than a fireball or whatever. But generally speaking, you'll surely have a different spell in your arsenal that will work, surely. Try and diversify your portfolio of spells. Anyway, so never picked that one. And Twin Spell, or the spell that's now, the Metamagic option is now called Twin Spell. It's completely different. Costs 1 sorcery point. When you cast a spell such as Charm Person or Hold Person, that can be cast with a higher level spell slot to target an additional creature. You can spend 1 sorcery point to increase that spell's effective level by 1. So they try to replicate twin spells, kind of twin capabilities, but it's really a shadow of its former self here. At least it's better than the previous iteration we got. So last playtest, this one was you can, if you cast a spell you cast in the previous turn in combat, you can pay for the sorcery points, run a spell slot. So the twin spell that we used to in the 2014 version is when you cast a spell that targets only one creature, you can spend number of sorcery points equal to the spell's level, and you can target a second creature with that spell and maintain concentration as well. So it's fantastic for things like haste, where you can then run you give super speed and extra attack and all that stuff to one of your mates or yourself. You can twin spell it to target two of your mates or a mate and yourself. But hey, which is really good. Or polymorph, another great one. Twin spell polymorph. You can turn two people into different creatures. That sort of thing. But that's not here. That's not. This spell won't do that because haste and polymorph don't have upcast capabilities. Though they had said, they haven't done it yet, but they have said that they're going to go through reviewing spells, making changes, adding that capability to some of those spells. They haven't mentioned which spells, but hopefully, if haste and polymorph are those spells, then this is actually quite good, because that means some of the better spells are available, and therefore it's only one sorcery point to do that. Oh, awesome. Because yeah, one of the big things about twin spell was about to effectively concentrate on two spells at once. Well, same spell, but twice on two different people that normally couldn't upcast to target multiple. So that did give upcast capability to some of those spells. Then I'd be satisfied with this new twin spell. But if it's technically more than twin, so I feel like twin is not an appropriate name anymore, because you can upcast some of these things to target more than two people. So it's not twin spell anymore, is it? It's, I don't know, enhanced spell or something. It's upcast spell. So yeah, so they're rethink the name. But yeah, so I will more than lost twin spell, but I'll accept it if they do make some of those other spells have some cool upcast targeting capabilities there. Yeah, twin spell. Poor twin spell. Okay, this is okay. Alright, onto some classes. Enough mourning on twin spell. Draconic sorcery. So we've got some updates here. Draconic sorcery updates. Dragon speech now gives you the draconic language, and while creatures of the dragon type understand your speech, you don't necessarily understand them. Dragon wings, once again, allows you to sprout wings without relying on a spell. Draconic presence replaces draconic exhalation. The feature is now a bonus action, and it doesn't require concentration. So level 3, you get draconic resilience. Magic in your body manifests physical traits. With your draconic gift, your hit point maximum increases by 3, increases by 1 whenever you gain another sorcerer level. So you are also covered by dragon-like scales. While you aren't wearing armor, your base armor class equals 10 plus your dexterity modifier plus your charisma modifier. Wow. I'm sure that charisma modifier part's new. I don't think it was that good before, but now, yeah, it's 10 plus, say your dex is plus 3, 13 plus charisma. So it starts off with plus 3, so 16. Low level, 16 AC on your caster, not bad. Plus you can shield on top. But then eventually you'll get up to plus 5, so hey, running around at 18 AC. Alright, okay, sorcerer. Very nice. Plus some extra points to help you be less squishy. But also at level 3 you get dragon speech. You can speak, read, and write draconic. In addition, your speech can be understood by all creatures of the dragon type. Okay. Then level 6, elemental affinity. Your draconic magic has an affinity with one of the damage types associated with dragons. Choose one of these types: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison. You have resistance to that damage type, and when you cast a spell that deals damage of that type, you can add your charisma modifier to 1 damage roll of that spell. Suck it, gem dragons, I guess. They're encounters dragon types. You're doing only these ones. Another gem dragon damage types are listed there. But hey, chromatic and metallic. You get it. Anyway, cool. Yeah, resistance is always nice. Extra bonus damage, nice. Sure. Normal affinity. Level 14, Dragon Wings. The cool feature that everyone complained about losing in the previous playtest is back. Your innate magic can now manifest as draconic wings on your back. As a bonus action, you can sprout those wings, gaining a fly speed equal to your speed. The wings last until you dismiss them as a bonus action, or you have the incapacity condition. When the wings manifest, you decide whether they're spectral or physical. If physical, you mustn't be wearing something that obstructs them. So you get a choice between if you just want magic spectral wings that don't affect your outfit, especially if you're wearing armor or whatever. It'll be annoying. Or the cool actual wings that grow out your back. They last forever and no concentration or anything like that. Just free flight. Woohoo! It's always nice. Yeah, very nice. Level 18. Draconic Presence. You can channel the Dread Presence of Dragons. As a bonus action, you can spend 5 sorcery points to draw on this power and exude an aura of awe or fear, your choice, within 60 feet. For 1 minute or until you have the incapacity condition, each creature of your choice that starts its turn in this aura must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC, or have the charmed if you choose awe, or frightened if you choose fear condition until the creature is outside the aura. Cool. I was not going to save or anything, just if you fail to save, well, that's it. Until you're outside the aura element, it's passed, I guess. Alright. Though, yeah, at that level 18, a lot of bad guys. I don't think I could care too much about Charmed or Frightened, honestly. A lot of bad guys aren't affected by those conditions. You never know, you might catch some mooks. That probably weren't a problem for you anyway, at that level. Well, not all features can be winners. Level 14 was pretty good. Wings. Alright, that's the Dragon Sorcery. Not bad. I'm surprised that adding spellless. There's Clockwork Soul and Aberrant Mind, or what they call them now. Aberrant and Clockwork Sorcery. Both have the inbuilt spellless, as they're represented in touches, holding everything. And then bother adding the spellless to Clockwork Sorcery. Bit of a shame, because more spells would have been nice. Oh well. Wild Magic Sorcery. Alright, your innate magic. Woo! Okay. Just funky things. Design note, Wild Magic update. So, Wild Magic Surge no longer requires DM permission. So go, DM, may I? May I Wild Surge, please, sir? My Wild Surge one more, please. You can now that limitation is gone. Yay. I mean, when I ran, I've DM'd a Wild Magic Sorcerer for a campaign, and yeah, I basically had it fire every opportunity. Like as soon as the Tides of Chaos is used, like next spellcast, it's going to fire, guaranteed. So yeah, no dramas. Tides of Chaos is now guaranteed to give you a roll on the Wild Surge Magic table. Oh, there we go. Bend Luck now costs 1 sorcery point instead of 2. That's good. That was, yeah, Bend Luck seemed a bit pricey, especially for running a D4 as well. Wild Bombardment, formerly Spell Bombardment, now allows you to use a Wild Magic Surge effect that casts a spell or that replenishes your spended sorcery points. Alright. So level 3, Wild Magic Surge. Your spellcasting that can unleash surges of untamed magic. No more than once per turn, you can roll a d20 immediately after you cast a sorcerer spell with a spell slot. If you roll a 20, roll the Wild Magic Surge table to create a magical effect. See the 2014 Player's Handbook for the table. I was hoping for a new table. That would have been quite cool to see a new Wild Magic Surge table. If the magical effect has a spell, it is too wild to be affected by your metamagic, and if it normally requires concentration, it doesn't require concentration in this case. The spell lasts for its full duration. Also at level 3, Tides of Chaos. You can manipulate the forces of chance and chaos to gain advantage on 1d20 test. Once you do so, you must finish a long rest before you can use this feature again. Immediately after you cast a sorcerer spell with a spell slot before you gain the use of this feature, you automatically roll on the Wild Magic Surge table and regain the use of this feature. Woohoo! All the advantage, all the wild magic, all the time. Amazing. Loads of fun. I really enjoyed playing a Wild Magic Sorcerer for a lot of levels. I found it at least a lot of fun early levels. I think by late game, it's a bit like Wild Magic was there that like was a bit like whatever at late level. But early game, loads of fun. Level 6, Bend Luck. You have the ability to twist fate using your wild magic. Immediately after another creature, you can see rolls a d20 for a d20 test. You can use your reaction and spend 1 sorcery point to roll 1d4 and apply number rolled as a bonus or penalty, your choice, to the creature's roll. Yay. I'm sure Jeremy Crawford in his interview said this is going to be d6, not d4. But oh well, there's only 1 sorcery point at least, so it's cheaper. And still use your reaction as well. So yeah, you have to really want it. Like if you're doing something, you think, oh, maybe just pass it, just nudge it under, or nudge something up if your allies try to do a saving throw. That's something you can do. But yeah, there's only 1 sorcery point. Not reasonable, but yeah, it does cost you a reaction, and it's only a d4. So yeah, not as swingy as one would like there for the Bend Luck. It still comes up. I definitely used it a fair bit as required when I played a Wild Magic Sorcerer. Alright, Control Chaos, level 14. You gain a modicum of control over the surges of your Wild Magic. When you roll on the Wild Magic Surge table, you can roll twice and use either number. Good, but sometimes you roll real bad ones. Oh no! Let's just try again. Level 18, Wild Bombardment. Immediately after you cast a Sorcerer spell with a spell slot, you can create an effect of your choice on the Wild Magic Surge table, provided the effect casts a spell or restores all your expended sorcery points. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish 1d4 long rests. Oof. It's quite a long time to refresh there. 1d4 long rests. A couple of game sessions even. But I guess you get to choose from your Wild Magic Surge, right? Yeah, choose anything on the table to have happen. Effectively. But it casts a spell or restores sorcery points, so yeah. Alright. Feels like it's less of a bombardment. We'll just, yeah. Wild outburst or something. I don't know. Anyway. Definitely improvement from spell bombardment, which is just if you roll damage on like a max damage on one of your damage die or something like that, and a spell, you can roll extra die 1 time. Woo! That goes super minor. Like, it was like, who cares? So definitely improvement on the level 18 class feature there for the Wild Magic Sorcerer. And with that, that is it. Sorcerer is done. Next is the Warlock. Alright. Cool. So this is Sorcerer. I think overall has ended up pretty good state. I think I'm pretty happy with this. I'm still sad about Twin Spell, but I'm always going to be sad about that, and nothing can do about that. But if they do add in more upcast ability to other spells, especially some things like Haste and Polymorph, I think I can live with the change then. It'll be fine. But yeah, the next sorcery looks pretty cool mechanically. Needs a better name. Better name. Sorcerer's Rage. Not that. You know what I mean. Alright. So what do you think of Sorcerer? Better state? More spells are also nice too. So nice having more spell preps. That was definitely a pain point every time I played Sorcerer. Well, Wild Magic Sorcerer. The Clockwork Soul had the its own spell list added in there, so that was pretty good. Alright. I'm Brad Thompson. This has been Cutting Words. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe. Help the channel grow. We're getting a lot of growth recently on the channel, which is great to see. Really hoping to get up to the legendary, the mythical 1,000 subscriber number. I believe that is what the YouTube algorithm demands as a threshold for the channel to reach. So I'm hoping to get there this year. That'd be lovely. So if you've subscribed already, thank you so much. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button. Help me grow. Allow me to keep making these videos for your enjoyment. And you don't miss them as they pop out on the YouTubes on the regular. Alright, join me next time for the Warlock, and then following that, the Wizard, finally. And then that'll be it for this playtest packet 7. And we're back to Fandelver and Below videos, I believe, for the next, unless some other news drops, I guess. It's always news dropping, right? But yeah, hopefully Fandelver and Below after that. Alright, until next time, happy gaming, and see ya.